Hello everyone, welcome. I have a traveler's notebook mystery for you today. Hopefully you can help me solve it. I'm going to be talking about some of the most popular traveler's notebooks on the planet and how they've changed. The listing itself is not necessarily what you get when you order it. It's not necessarily better or worse, it's just different. And we're going to take a deep dive into looking at what the differences are, whether it matters to you when you order, and maybe we can talk in the comments section and figure out when the change happened and whether it goes back and forth or if it's been a consistent change. I will, as per usual, put a link in the description to these traveler's notebooks in case you would like to get them for yourself or a gift for someone else, because I do still recommend them. They're just different. All right, so September Leather or Newestor kind of goes by both names on Amazon. They are ridiculously popular. I made a video a week or two ago about their standard TN, which does not have pockets, and it is the #1 selling traveler's notebook on Amazon. It's even more popular than Traveler's Company, the original. They also make traveler's notebooks with pockets and reinforced spines. They're just an even better version of the original. And they have a lot of usefulness. I have used them for years and years, both as daily driver, everyday carry traveler's notebooks and also to archive my older inserts. They come in a wide variety of sizes. You can get them in A5 like this, you can get them in standard or regular size, you can get them smaller like an A6 or a pocket size. So many choices. Sometimes you can get them just by themselves. Sometimes they come in a little bundle that has some inserts to get you ready to go. So I'll put a link to all those choices in the description. But we need to talk about why the listings are not necessarily accurate right now. I bought my first Newestor or September Leather about 5 years ago. And I think it was this one. And this is one that I've been using as an archive lately. What I really like about this format with the pockets and the reinforced spine is that it allows me to add tons of inserts and have it grow and grow and grow and still stay stable. So if you're a person who likes a really chunky TN, this is a great option for you, because right now I've got 7 inserts in it, but it could even take more. So great for everyday use, also great for archiving. The sewing is good. Like I said, this is about 5 years old and the sewing has held up really well. There's never been a loose thread or anything. That reinforced spine keeps it from buckling too much when you add inserts and they pull on the bands. It has a nice closure band, nice and sturdy. I've never had to replace it. I open it up and it has pockets for cards or, like driver's license. You could really turn this into a wallet. Depending on the size, I think the A5 and the regular size have 3 pockets and the smaller ones might only have 2. And you have a folio pocket. You've got this nice scallop design just for interest. Flip it to the back. You've got another folio pocket, a pen loop. So really useful. And when you open them up, regardless of the size you choose, it's going to have several bands. And you've got 3 main bands, and they are nicely spaced so that the spines don't have to jostle for position in your notebook. They just all sit nice and flush, and they flip easily. So 3 bands, and then there's a 4th band that has the knot on it. And I usually use the 4th band when I'm expanding, and I'm taking 2 inserts, putting them on an extra and pulling them through. Then I use this as the one to hook them onto so that the knot doesn't interfere with actually using it. Another thing to point out is that the knot is in the spine, not on the back cover. So that's helpful so that when you sit and write, you don't have that bump behind you. So anyway, they're basically good quality as far as the layout. That's what I really, really like about these, just the format. But the leather has always been weird. So like I said, this is, I think, the first one that I purchased. And you can see it's about the same as the second one that I purchased. So standard A5. Very, very similar. These were from about, like I said, in 2021. The biggest difference between these two was the color. The leather felt the same, it performed the same, it scratched the same, and it patinaed the same, but the color was different. So originally, it was almost black. It was so, so dark. And then the pickup was like a dark cherry. Then the next one, it was more of like a cherry chocolate. And its pickup was, again, like a cherry color. Okay? So slight difference in the coloring, but the leather itself felt the same. The suede inside felt the same. See how kind of like rough this is? It feels like real suede to me. Kind of an untrained eye, untrained fingers, it feels real to me, okay? And when I smell it 5 years later, it still smells a little bit like leather. It's not strong. It's not as obvious as some of the other custom-made traveler's notebooks that I have, but there is still a little bit of a leather scent all these years later, okay? And the way that it patinas is the same, these older styles. They had almost like a waxy surface to them. It was matte, so as smooth as ice cream, like the Zamboni had just gone over the ice rink, okay? Very, very, very smooth. And I don't know if you can see it in the light, in the studio light here, but it was a little bit shiny, not glossy, but there is a glint. There's a little bit of shine on there. So smooth matte finish, shiny, waxy. And whether you rolled it like a baseball glove to break it in early, or if it just developed a patina over time, either way, the scratches that it got were kind of weird. It was almost like they would only go through that waxy top layer and they wouldn't penetrate the way that some other leathers that I have would. So they almost kind of look like you scuffed it instead of scratched it. Does that make sense? So again, not bad, not good. This is just the way it was about 5 years ago, okay? So then I ordered one like 2 years ago and it switched to a slightly different leather. I returned it because I didn't like it. Skip forward, I ordered this one a week ago. So this is July 2026. Same listing. And the pictures in the listing look like this leather, okay? But this is what I received. So the first difference is the color. If the first one, the standard tan that I got, was almost black, and the second one was an espresso brown with kind of some cherry to it, the third one is milk chocolate. Then we talk about what happens when you scratch it. I'm not going to scratch it up too much, but I just want you to see that there's barely a change in the color. So it goes from a milk chocolate to just kind of like a tan pickup if you were to roll this, or like here's a scratch that was already on it when I received it, and you can barely see that, and you can rub it and it'll kind of smooth back in. So it definitely performs differently as it's getting a patina. It's also not shiny at all. Can you see that difference? Not shiny at all. Totally, totally matte. No shine to it. But there's a texture, and the texture is different. If the old one was smooth as ice cream, the brand new one from 2026 has a little bit of a texture to it, a pattern to it. It does not look like it's machine generated pattern. It looks like it's just kind of natural, but there's a texture. It feels different. I've had this for 1 week and the leather smell is gone. There was a leather smell when I purchased it. It's gone now. So I open it up, and sometimes you can get more of the leather smell if you go like this on that suede. Yeah, a little bit, but it's only a week old. This was 5 years old and still smelled a little bit like leather. This is a week old and it's already fading. I don't know what that means. It just is what it is. All right, so we open it up and let's look at the difference in the inside. So obviously the color. I mean, these are the same listing, you guys. It's the same item number on Amazon. Here's the one from 5 years ago, dark, 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 dark. Here's the new one from 2026. It almost looks like caramel inside, doesn't it? And then the old one had that rough kind of suede that felt real to me. This one has an extremely smooth suede. Very, very, very fine grained, I guess you would call it. So I'm sorry for not knowing the terms. I'm not insinuating this isn't leather. I'm just insinuating it's presented completely differently, okay? So I would still buy it. It still feels good. It just looks completely different than the listing. So if you're purchasing these for the format, if you're purchasing them because you really, really want those 3 card pockets, you want the folio pockets, you want the pen loop, you want all these nice bands that are nicely spaced across, you want the reinforced spine, go ahead and get this. They're still fine. But if you've already had a couple of these and you think you're going to get the same thing again, you're probably not. It's going to be different. What I'd love for you to do is in the comments section, please tell me, first of all, have you ever ordered a September leather or Newestor? Second of all, when did you order it and did the leather feel more shiny or did the leather feel more kind of matte and textured? Okay? Has the color changed from the one that you purchased to the one I'm showing now? Let's try to figure out when the change happened. And the biggest question that I'm wondering about is, does it go back and forth? Do they move around from different kind of shipments of leather, different sources of where they're getting their material? Are they on different machines? Is it a different factory? Or did they have one and now they have the new one? I'd love to know if they're consistent with the new one. So it's hard for me to keep straight. And it's hard for me to know what to show you because I don't know if like on Monday they're shipping out this and on Tuesday they're shipping out this. Help me get to the bottom of this mystery. I would really appreciate it. I should note, this is really important, that I recommended these big time like 2021, 2022, and then they had a problem about 2 years ago. They started shipping them with what people were referring to as mold, but could have been some kind of from the buffing process. It could have been the wax. It could have been some dust. I don't know, but there was something, some kind of residue that was shipping on them. And people were complaining in the comments section or in the reviews on Amazon. And so I pulled them. Like I pulled everything anywhere that I had recommended them. I made a video and I told everybody about that, just a heads up. Make sure to check it when you open it and return it if you need to, kind of buyer beware. But then those reviews went back to positive again, and they've been consistently good for a long time. So it sounds like they've fixed whatever supply chain issue they had. I think this is a lesson. You're dealing with factory-made things, and there are a lot of changes that can be made at some kind of a big corporate level, and then they don't make the changes in the listing on Amazon. There are options. If you do not want to purchase something factory made, if you do not want to purchase something from Amazon, I completely understand. And if you're in that category, I will link you to some of my favorites that are available on Etsy. You have to be careful with Etsy too. There are a lot of things there that are not handmade, even though they say they are. But I will link you to a couple on Etsy that are 100% made by artisan, craftspeople in the US who are delightful to speak with, who are one-man band travelers notebook makers. I'll link to those. And I will also link to a couple of my favorites that are not on Etsy anymore, but used to be. That's like Apple Pig, Speckled Fawns, things like that. But if you want it Amazon Prime, if you want it easy to return, if you want it under $50, if you just want to see if Traveler's Notebooks are even for you, I still recommend these Newestor September Leather. I just think you have to, understand that what you get might not look exactly like the listing. And what you get, you should check out, open it up, look at it, make sure it's good quality. And, they have a good return policy. If it's not what you were expecting, you're able to return it fairly easily. All right. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you found something in here helpful. I know there's a lot of babbling, but Traveler's notebooks are an interesting thing because on the surface they should be simple, but my goodness, there are so many choices and styles and where they're made and where you buy them. I'm just trying to help you get a good value for your money. Thank you so much for watching. Have a fantastic day and enjoy your own journaling journey. Bye-bye.